Absolute Radio.
Good morning, this is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio, and I'm with the Cockerel. I'm going to see if I can find your... Oh, it's been a while.
Well done.
And Holly Walsh.
Good morning.
I don't have a jingle for you, but hooray for Holly Walsh! That'll do it.
A live jingle.
Yeah, there aren't enough live jingles on radio. We've had live adverts already this morning.
Yeah,
it's going to be one of those kind of days. I feel like someone has got their fist around my heart and he's squeezing really tightly.
Oh.
Do you know what? I quite like it.
Is there a doctor in the house?
What, you think I'm having an HA?
I'm just worried. I thought it's not a normal description.
So, Holly, for people who don't know, Holly is... well, I'll tell you a bit about Holly. I did a pilot a few years ago, and for the BBC, called... what's it called? Dog on a Skateboard?
It was, yeah, Frank Skinner Skateboarding Dog.
Frank Skinner Skateboarding Dog. Thanks for remembering, Holly. And as you can tell, it didn't take off, as it were. But the dog didn't take off. But I said, there's this woman I want to get on the show, I said to the producer, and he said, OK, what's her name? I said, I don't know her name. He said, well, what? Can you tell me anything about her? I said, yeah, I saw her do a really good gig with a heavy cold once. That's your mission. Off you go. And they found you.
They did.
And it was, can I say, it wasn't Holly's fault that the show remained at the pilot stage. It was during my interregnum.
I remember you did a duet with a tease maid.
I did. I played, the Hawkwind Silver Machine, accompanied by a tease maid.
Do you know, I'd love a tease maid. We've been talking about getting a tease maid.
Do they still make them?
I'm not sure.
I don't know if they do. My mum was given one as a retirement present, and my dad said, you better give it to him, because they're really just for lazy people. A remark that's lived with me ever since.
But what I find weird about it is that making a cup of tea isn't the most stressful. It's not like it takes a long time.
Well, it's tricky, though, when you're asleep. Unless you're some sort of somnambulist.
Indeed.
Yeah, but you're woken up by this sound that goes of the pot, the water moving from the kettle side into the pot side, which sounds exactly like the opening sound effect on Hawkwind Silver Machine. So I used to sleep with a... I'm sure I've told this story before, but who cares? New readers and all that. I used to reach across for my guitar and play the opening chords as the tease maid filled up. I lived alone, and life was different there. When you live alone, you can get away with all sorts of things.
Were you awake at any point during this? Were you asleep as you did it?
I was woken by the... but still half asleep, but it's a very simple chord sequence. And I had the guitar tuned to open G minor, which made the whole thing much simpler.
Oh, good.
Thank you for that. So you can probably guess from my slightly tense manner that we're in technical disaster zone again on the show. But you know what? I kind of like it. Sometimes I feel like there's been a nuclear attack, and it's just us in a bunker broadcasting to the world, and that's a great feeling. I say it's a great feeling. I'm slightly indifferent to it. But already Holly has made my morning by using the phrase denim trousers instead of jeans, which is, I'm going to call them denim trousers from now on.
But you were talking about double denim, and
Yeah.
you said you were a fan of them.
I am a fan of double denim. We should allow listeners to know that I took Frank somewhat to task about the advert for Room 101, where he puts double denim in his list of things that... But I like double denim. I think it's comfortable, and it looks like I want to look. Someone that, is pretty relaxed.
Yeah, I would guess, knowing what I know of the average Absolute listener, that I'd say 78% of the people listening to this show now are wearing double denim. So I don't want to condemn them.
Denim pyjamas, probably in this case.
I think that these are people who are so drunk at the weekends they just sleep in all their clothes. Don't get me wrong, I love them all. Should I say I love you all? That's another thing you're told at radio school. Don't talk to your other presenters, talk directly to the listener. But I don't.
Absolute Radio. Frank Skinner.
So I did a thing I don't think I've ever done before. I asked to be moved in a restaurant the other night. which usually means that there's a terrible annoyance nearby.
Yeah.
And also, it was Yo Sushi, so it wasn't like, it's a place where you basically sit round a counter.
Yeah.
A conveyor belt.
Yeah,
in
if
and
you're
out.
not familiar with Yo Sushi, it's a sushi restaurant where Rocky works from the Rocky films. No, it isn't. He said yo a lot, didn't he? No, it's got a conveyor belt, and you take your sushi off, it goes past. It's a fabulous generation game type of feel to the place.
Oh, right, you try and remember what's past you.
Yeah.
I
So you have to remember how much it is, because if you pick too many of the purple ones or the green ones, so it racks up the price. You don't realise it.
You should explain
till
to
they count
people
at the
that you
end.
mean the dishes.
Oh, the dishes, yeah, not the fish.
It's purple and green fish in there.
Yes, there's coded plates to suggest expense. I have to say, Holly, I stopped noticing those colours many years ago.
Not about the top and
I
bottom
actually
line,
have
then.
monochrome
I can't believe you said
plates
that
going
during a
around.
recession.
Yeah, well, it's no good trying to be a phony with people. They know. Don't worry about that. In this age of identity.
Yeah, but the beauty about it is that you can afford everything in Yo Sushi.
Yes,
but
that's
nothing above that.
But even so I can. The man took me in the other day. I was meeting a friend, I arrived early, as I always do, and
Lombardi time. Are you on Lombardi?
I was on
time?
Lombardi time. Why don't you explain Lombardi time?
Lombardi time is Vince Lombardi, I believe, was an American baseball coach or football coach who said if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late.
I love Vince. Vince is
I
my
love
mentor
Lombardi. Yeah.
in this respect. Anyway, I got in, and the guy led me to the counter, and it was a section of the counter where you're looking directly into a booth. So I am sitting, and there's two people sitting maybe 3 feet away from me, and I'm looking straight at them, and they are a young couple, and my goodness me, they were snogging big time.
Oh no!
And I mean, I was about to eat. And I was sitting, it was like being in some terrible peephole booth on 42nd Street. I mean,
More
it was
expensive snacks.
and the way the bloke took me there, the waiter, was if he was doing me a favour. Oh, have I got a vantage point for you, sir?
Were they lickers? Were they good looking?
I tell you what they look like. They look like people who were snogging but not having fun. You know, when you get a serious young couple.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and I felt that they probably had intense conversations, like, in order to know love, you must also know hate. They had that kind of look about. He had a black roll-neck sweater. I mean, come on. What is this, a workshop?
You don't
Anyway-
want to be sat opposite Ernest snogging.
He
And the
wa-
last
he
thing you
looked-
want is a Jean-Luc Godard.
They both looked very, very earnest indeed. And I just thought, what the dickens? It's 2012. It was my way of celebrating the anniversary. So I called the man across, the waiter.
Not
and
the guy snogging.
No, I didn't. I wouldn't have. I don't know if he would have heard me. I think her tongue was in one ear and out the other at that stage. And anyway, I said, I turned away from them so they couldn't hear me. And I said, I need to be moved. And the man says, is there a problem? And I said, well, look at this couple behind me. And he said, well, and he didn't get it. Like, it was all right. And I said, well, I don't want to look at them. And it was just, I thought, don't make me speak louder, mate. That's
Yeah.
what I thought. And I was insistent. And so I got moved.
See, I find the idea of eating raw fish stomach churning, so the idea of being moved away from...
Well, I was...
I think I probably sat there instead of having the meal.
Yeah, I was combining the... I don't like in pub... I mean, I'm all for love, don't get me wrong. Anyone who thinks I'm anti-love, think again.
But you're like an Antipodean. Now PDIs might.
No.
Public
So
displays of
how
affection.
far would you go in public? Holding hands? Holding hands.
No, I'm not sure about holding hands. The
Wow.
thing is,
A stiff handshake.
there's a sufficient age difference in my relationship that if we hold hands, it looks like I'm being helped. Anyway, we still have no ads.
Oh, no.
And I think the last time we had no ads on the show, I did that shredded wheat ad again.
Well, as it happens, somebody has texted in to 8, 12, 15 saying Argos sells 2 Teasmaids. That's from Alexandra from Watford.
That's
So,
lovely. You see,
in many ways, we've had an advert now.
if the ads don't work, we just chuck them all in. So if there's anyone listening who wants to advertise their that wears, we'll do it in the shop. So I think I'm going to go trailer music. Let's do that.
Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner.
So anyway, so I was moved, and
Emotionally.
I was
I thought you meant emotionally.
I was moved. No, I was appalled. I don't.
In the sushi place.
If I was a lesser man, I would say get a room.
Someone else would obviously say get a booth, which is the best thing you can do.
Well, they had got a booth.
Well, there you go then. That's what they're for.
No,
You
they're
can't
not
snog in a
closed.
booth.
If there was a curtain, I wouldn't have minded. It's a curtained booth with a light, say a snogging light that you put on to, do not disturb.
Like in strip joints where they have sort of a back room.
Well, I wouldn't know that, I'm sure.
I think it's fine to say get a room, just to yourself, to mutter it.
No, it's gone too much into the common parlance.
It has, yeah. We've
Get a
discussed
room.
this before, that when I see somebody getting stuff out of skips, I quite often mutter to myself, skip rat!
But skip rat, I think, is all right. That
Skip rat
sounds.
is fine.
Oh,
And what
the-
about when you're in Brighton and you see an adult on a skateboard? Is it fine to mutter get a job? Is that okay?
Well, I don't
Get a
quite see
car.
the connection.
Get a car.
Get a car, yeah.
Get a bus.
It's like 38-year-olds flying kites on the beach. Get a job. Come on, grow up.
Oh, no, I don't like the way this is going. It's going to be
It's
James
judgmental.
Whale on Talk Sport.
James Whale.
I simply won't have it.
Reference.
I think I didn't discover the kite until later life.
And you like it?
I got one of them two-handers. You can make it swoop. You know those?
Oh, yeah.
Phew.
Is that a kite though, or sort of some sort of paraglider?
Oh,
No,
when
I
they're
wouldn't.
wrong handles, I guess.
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Anyway, so yes. So if you're going to snog, do it behind a tree. You
Yeah, but
like
somebody's-
it, don't you,
huh?
Ollie? You like it, don't you?
No, I just think you've got to. I take each case as it comes.
Oh, okay. That's fair, that's fair enough.
So if
Treat them as
they're a
individuals.
good-looking couple, I mind it a lot less than if they're not.
Do you? Oh,
yeah,
no.
I'm
They're
quite
the worst.
prejudiced.
I'd rather it was a repulsively ugly couple.
Oh, yeah.
Because then at least I can think, well, fair enough.
They're getting something.
Yeah. But if it's these were a good-looking couple, and it all goes a bit Athena Poster.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what
Was
I
there
mean?
a baby being held in between?
There's
a man-
not when I was in there, but I think that was on the conveyor belt. But it was no, I'm not having it.
I don't really. I'm very bad at any kind of physical contact in public anyway. Even at the best of times, I'm not good at
You mean you yourself?
hugging. I'm very bad at that. I feel very nervous when people go in for a hug. Like, if someone goes in, I've just met them and they go in for the kiss, like on the cheek, there's a moment where I'm like, are we going for one or two? It all gets awkward.
Well,
I'm
I
just
kissed
terrible.
you this morning when we met.
I thought we did all right.
I thought I was a bit embarrassed.
Yeah, but you did it on the lips and your tongue was out. So
Yeah.
there was a lot wrong with that.
Well, I thought that would just break the ice. But no, it was though. I thought you blushed a little. And
I'm just terrible at anything.
I felt the heat as I leaned towards your face. I felt the heat. It was like leaning into a blast furnace.
Oh, no.
Yes. It's like I imagine kissing Sir Alex Ferguson would be. I imagine he's got a head like a meteor.
How often do you imagine that?
I've imagined it, I think, 4 times tops. And it's always...
Have you
virtually
kissed
something
everyone in the Premier League?
I imagine
or-
a strong smell of scotch. But,
Might be a
No, I reckon he's more of a port man.
do you think
Yeah.
so?
portmanteau.
Yeah, well, anyway, I've never... I think I shook hands with Sir Alex Ferguson once, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
He was wearing a traditional hand buzzer that you used to get from joke shops in the 70s. I felt all my hair rise slightly. So there's... what else?
There's this thing that... Actually, when we're on the subject of PDAs, did you see this story in the news this week about...
PDA has been public displays of affection, for those who are not up on the
I
on the
worked with an
abbreviation.
Antipodean once that always shouted, "No PDAs, mate." Have you seen this about this guy that will dump your girlfriend or boyfriend and it'll only cost you a £5? It's a story that's been in the news. Apparently there's a
That's
website...
the great thing about the recession, is people get very inventive.
Yeah, there's an
Don't they?
entrepreneurial spirit to it, isn't
There
there?
is, yeah. I'm liking this. There's something Richard Branson about a man offering to dump
There
your
isn't
partner for a £5.
£5 plus expenses of £20 per hour. That sounds like a tax dodge to me. £5 plus expenses.
Well, it's not. Can I say that absolute and not accusing this man in any way of dishonesty, and I hope he's declaring all of this money.
I hope he's declaring it all.
Yeah.
It says
Good point,
Keekbush, that's his surname, Keekbush. Jonathan Keekbush, I might be mispronouncing that. He turns up and he will dump your boy or girlfriend for £5 plus expenses, and it says he advertises his services on 5squids.co.uk, where there's a variety.
Well, hold on, let's not plug this service. I mean,
Giving them adverts.
It's the sort of thing, you might get drunk and phone him up, and then the next day think, actually, I've changed my mind about it. Too late, he's gone.
It's sort of like a hitman, though.
He is
you
like
get a similar situation if you're with a hitman.
He makes double sure
Is that right?
you really want to
you're
do.
drunk, you phone them up, next morning you're like, why did I do that?
Yeah, I hate that. I hate that. That moment when you wake up and realise you've hired a hitman the night before.
Yeah, it's
Oh, God.
isn't it?
That is, you get that awful hangover guilt feeling.
If you've inadvertently hired a hitman, text 81215.
Well,
You have to go through your phone just checking which hitman you texted.
Yeah.
I think there should be. Wouldn't it be a good idea if when people start a relationship, they have a kind of a sort of a prenup type?
Do you know
thing?
what? I would be really up for some sort of contractual agreement. So you go, let's just do 6 months and then review it after that time, and then we don't have any of the sort of like, oh, we didn't see this through and give it
No,
enough time.
I was thinking more like, when people who do sadomasochism have a kind of a code word that means stop hitting me.
Yes.
Mine's flapjack.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It must be very confusing if you're being brutally beaten in Pret. Pret a manger.
Then it's Yoga Bunny.
Yeah. Oh, well, that makes all the difference in the world. No, but if you said, look, if you or I want to split up at any point in the relationship, we just text each other the code word, and then the deal is we have to leave it at that. We can't argue. We can't ask why. You just get the code word. And like, for example, are you familiar with the phrase deep six?
No.
To deep
six.
I think it's a nautical term. I think the idea is if you're in more than 6 fathoms of water and something goes overboard, it's forget about it. It's gone.
All right.
And so you could just have that word deep six, and you can just text that to you, and then they can't combat. They can't try and make amends or find out why you're upset. The deal is that whoever sends that text, that's the end of the relationship. Full stop.
The difference, though, is that if something falls overboard at 6 fathoms of sea, the good chance is it wasn't because it met someone else.
Well,
it wasn't because it met its best friend.
No,
or something.
but that's all. The idea is you give up the right.
You'd
to know.
never have to bump into that thing at 6 fathoms.
Well, let's save time. Let's just text each other a full stop. That should rather than a ...
Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio, and we were talking about the hitman relationship ender.
I don't know if my wife's listening, but she's just texted me saying, "Don't ask, don't tell." I don't know. Is that her?
Is that your code word for the end of the relationship?
Yeah, it's a conversation a long time ago, but I've forgotten that.
Don't ask, don't tell. I looked him up. This person, the relationship hitman.
Oh yeah.
He was. By the way, if you want to text us on 81215, and about anything, including this. And he was wearing a gingham trilby.
Gingham trilby?
No.
A gingham trilby.
I draw the line. I mean, this is a rare example of shooting the messenger, I think, which would be acceptable. This man, you don't want to be dumped by someone in a gingham trilby. I mean, what is it?
It's like one of those butcher's hats. It looks more like a butcher's hat than a... You know what I'm talking about?
That's gingham. I know gingham when I see it.
Yeah,
I grew up on The Wizard of Oz.
Did you?
Yes. And Dorothy always wore gingham.
You can't wear a gingham trilby without having it at a jaunty angle.
Well, he's got it at a jaunty angle. So what I'm thinking is he's a bit of a character, this guy. I don't want to be dumped by a bit of a character. I don't want someone to come and say, I've been speaking to Suzanne, and, hey, guess what? And then maybe, I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't a musical element. He does some sort of version of Another One Bites the Dust.
Or he does a jokey like, what starts with D and rhymes with bumped.
Yes.
And then you go dump and he goes, you know, like,
no, that's...
And everyone's filming it on their phones and it's all on YouTube. It gets like 8 hits.
He looks like the third person on Blind Date. He's the look he has of him, the one who wears the spandex.
In fact, I'd rather pay £10 and have someone dumped with a sense of gravitas than this novelty guy do it.
Sorry, imagine if you got him to ask people out for you. The chances would be much slimmer.
That would be good though.
See, this is what I like about the story, because it's kind of a return to the playground rules, isn't it? Of, you know, can you go and dump her for me?
Did people do that?
Do you not remember
I
that?
remember the my mate fancies you trying to get,
yeah.
but not my mate no longer wishes to be. That's because I never went out with anyone till I was about 20. By then, people had generally grown up. If he did it for me, I'd want him to sing. Be
A
great.
singing dumper.
Yeah. You pushed at Frank, and now he's finally jumped. You're dumped. Waving the Gingham Trilby.
Bit of jazz hands
I think there's
there.
an Ivan Novello in that. That was an incredible bit of off the top of your head.
Thank you very much. Off the top of my Gingham Trilby, which I'm not wearing. No, it's I sort of admire, as you say, his entrepreneurship.
No.
But how does he find the person?
On the website.
No, but the person. Say if I phone him up, right, and I say, you know, I've been married 52 years. I want to end it. Can you tell my wife? How does he find the wife?
Well, presumably you would give your wife's number or workplace.
Yeah, but
or
that's
address.
worse, isn't it? I'm not going to give the phone number of a newly single woman to a man in a gingham trilby.
I don't think he's a hunter. I don't think he finds the person. I think he just goes and delivers the information.
No, but he has to track them down in order to have the conversation. He offers face-to-face, doesn't he, for a supplementary fee?
I think he does, but I think he's assuming that you will give him the name and address of the person rather than that he has to play this enormous game.
I think, you know what, I've been so obsessed with watching Sherlock just lately. I think my life has become... Anyway.
Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
We've had quite a few texts in from people that want their businesses advertised while the adverts weren't working.
Yeah, I don't know if we can legally do that, but we can generally skate around the subject.
I can let you know that your
I don't want to get closed down.
correspondence is valued.
The way things going this morning, I don't know how to court case.
Sweets and Treats, an old-fashioned sweet shop in West Wickham, has texted in. That's nice, isn't it?
Sweets and treats. Yeah, but do we want to encourage child obesity?
Well, you say that, but she says it's sugar-free and gluten-free sweets, so I can eat
That's
sin-free.
not a sweet then, is it?
It's not. I don't know.
That's
Don't
a
know
health
if it's
food.
Let's not lead them in and then slap them across the face once
Hi,
the door's
Frank and
closed.
team, can you please advertise my little canal-side cafe in Rickmansworth, Hertfordshire? There we go. I'm not even going to name it because we might get in trouble.
But there won't be that many by the
No.
side of the canal.
Exactly, we've named it Obliquely, haven't we? We've given you a...
Obliquely would be a great name for it.
Sounds like a Jane Austen sort of setting.
Sounds like the presenter of Dancing on Ice, Christine Obliquely. Had she had a bit more Irish. I think she says Blakely, doesn't she? She don't want to be known as Bleakley. I wouldn't have thought.
Oh, I don't know. That sounds like a bit of a down.
There's
I suppose.
an advert for children's beds.
Nice.
Did you have a novelty bed as a child?
Children's
Yeah.
beds.
Yes, novelty children's beds.
Okay.
Oh, I guess they've got things on them like, Shrek or Spider-Man.
I think it's
I
more
see.
like a racing car.
Oh,
like
nice,
half a
yeah,
racing
yeah.
car.
Oh, one of
I
those
like
things.
Cars too. That would be really good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you,
we had a cheap one. It was like two beds welded together.
Cotton shunts.
No, nothing novelty about my bed except there was three of us in it. Well, a little insight into the former life of the presenter there on Absolute Radio. Went a bit Matt Berry. So, yeah, we were talking about this bloke who's offering a fiver to dump your partner. If I think the whole idea of this website is people offer unusual services.
Yeah, I had a look at it. It's weird, the
But,
variety.
I mean, of a clean nature.
All for £5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can get someone to tweet for you. You can get someone to do a spreadsheet. There's all sorts of stuff. Really weird, some of it. But,
Yeah.
but fun. It's quite a fun.
What
thing.
would you go for if you could pay someone a fiver to do a job you hate doing?
I'll tell you what I think would be a
This morning I might ask them to do this.
yeah, come in and do the show. I think this is going to sound like the most middle-class radio moment ever. I think people who've got a cleaner resent having to do that little tidy-up that you do before the cleaner gets there. And I think it'd be quite nice to pay someone a fiver to do the pre-cleaner tidy.
A
That's a
pre-cleaner
good
who
idea.
comes
Good
in.
idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think a pre-cleaner tidy is worth a fiver, isn't it?
Mine's quite similar because I hate cleaning my teeth. If I didn't have to clean my teeth, I would happily not bother. If there was
Really?
any reason why I could get out of it, I would do it. So what I'd like is for £5 twice a day, someone just to stand next to my bed with a sort of old Victorian style metal bowl, and I could just spit into it with my, just make it as minimal effort as possible.
That's good.
What you want is tuberculosis. By the sounds of it.
I want a teas-made equivalent of a toothbrush.
Yeah, you don't look that big. Yeah, the one that sort of makes its way across in the morning while you're still...
Is this Wallace and Gromit that we're describing?
Keith Robinson.
I'd be happy for someone to shave me in the mornings.
You do not like
just the
shaving,
face.
do you?
Yeah, just the face, not the whole thing. I don't want to be slipping out of bed. It's the only way I can get any purchase on my shiny fitted sheets. They're pure silk. They aren't. Yeah, I'd like that. I'd happily. I'd be happy with that.
A £5 for a shave.
Yeah,
Probably every second day, wouldn't it?
I don't. But I'm just. Do people tidy before the cleaner comes round?
Have you got a cleaner?
Yes, but I don't tidy.
We do a pre-cleaner.
I wouldn't mind someone who came round after the cleaner to turn the lights off.
Really?
Just whenever I get back, she tends to leave all the lights on. I think it's a way of saying, "Look how clean this is."
Or just to acknowledge that she's been there.
Someone could come round and after the cleaner just straighten all the pictures back up. That's another thing.
But where does it end? And then someone has to come round.
Before you know it, you're spending £20 a week, aren't you? On just
on men with gingham hats just coming round straightening them.
Well, that's it. The gingham trilby could be the badge of these
£5.
These £5 service people. And they could. I tell you what, I wouldn't mind someone who gets your cufflinks in.
That's not worth £5.
Well,
Come on, that's inflation. No, I'd say that's £1 each. Tops.
No, I think you'll find that's a broomstick-based game in Harry Potter. No, I'm all right for the first section of the sleeve, but getting it through the second section, I find quite.
This is an expensive man's problem, isn't it?
Exactly.
Oh, I can't
This
get
is what
my
they call
cufflinks
a first
in.
world problem. The second cufflink insertion.
Yeah.
A novel by Beryl Bainbridge. No, it's. I would like that. You think of all the things that you don't like doing in life. There aren't many, but.
Yeah.
But do you want a stranger coming in a gingham trilby?
I'd like somebody just before I went on stage, or just in any meeting situation, just to check my clothes were done up, I didn't have any bogies, and my makeup was sort of straight, and then I could just go on there confidently knowing that I was ready and that there was nothing that could go wrong.
Yeah, if only you'd been here this morning.
Absolute Radio, Frank Skinner.
Somebody's texted in saying nail clip for dogs for £5. Now that would be good, because clipping the dog's toenails is a pain. That's a chore of a job.
Well, I would say one of my favourite sounds in all the world is the sound of dog toenails on linoleum. So I like to leave them long.
You've got a CD of that you play to go to sleep, don't you?
I use it for my massage.
Like dolphins.
It's my massage back, yeah.
Dogtails on linoleum.
Dog
now that's
toenails.
what.
Not dogtails.
Now that's what I call dog nails on linoleum. 38.
I'm on the same cycle of nail clipping as my dog. When mine need done, the dogs need done.
Can you do each other's lefts?
Usually do them on the same day. Yeah.
On the left, so it's doing the right. It's difficult, isn't it?
They should call it a pedicure.
A pedicure, yeah.
Fabulous idea.
Hey, I heard a great motto while I was away. I've been in Bermuda doing some comedy gigs, and I met an American comic. And American comics are American comics, you know. So
they're not like comics.
They're more polished than us, definitely.
They're very polished.
They are polished. And on that subject, we were discussing Jerry Seinfeld, who is perhaps arguably the most polished.
I've never met Jerry Seinfeld, but I bet he smells of aftershave lotion.
I suspect that's true.
What's the difference between aftershave and aftershave lotion?
Oh, none. That's it.
Well, one's a longer description.
Right.
Yeah.
What? Okay, then maybe he smells of aftershave balm. Is that what you're getting at?
He might have a balm, I don't know.
Yeah, anyway, a balmy vibe.
I have not been able to get a Jerry Seinfeld motto out of my head from when he worked on the road. He had the motto. Do you want to hear it? Because we're all comics in this room, and maybe the listeners have an interest in how people live their life. On the road, his motto was "Eat right, pack light, work tight." I loved that. I genuinely loved it. That's his motto. Eat right.
Right.
Pack light.
Pack light.
Pack light.
Work tight.
Work tight.
Good night.
What does he mean by
Sleep
work tight?
Work tight. I think he means
Get drunk.
No.
Before you go on.
No, I think he means storm it. Do your stuff. Keep it tight. Make it good.
Aye.
Obviously, it's been misheard by some British comics, and it just means that they don't buy a round at the bar.
I don't like the sound of work tight. That sounds like someone who's carefully honed their material till there's no humanity left in it.
You carefully hone your
Yeah, you just read
material.
that. You just read that off a bit of paper. That got written before.
Yeah, I've got that written down. I've got an auto cue. This whole thing's done an auto
We've
cue.
rehearsed this 8 times.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're taking against it.
Yeah, it's good that we've got that very laid-back atmosphere. An American comic said to me, well, I was starting out and I was looking for advice, and he said, never leave your wallet in the dressing room.
Never leave your wallet in the dressing
And
room.
I've lived by that, certainly. I like a motto. I'm all for it, but I don't like Jerry's.
Is that your motto? I'm all for a motto.
Yes. The Skinner family motto is Sanguis Elvut Nera,
What's that?
which means blood and wounds. That's the Skinner family motto. I looked it up on the internet. Which, again, is a great one for stand-up,
Yeah.
I think. And then, of course, there's Catherine Jenkins, whose motto is the Lord's Prayer recited backwards.
Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio, and I'm with Alan Cochrane and Holly Walsh. That's the kind of morning I'm having. And
Don't make it sound like such a bad thing.
it's just nothing's quite right this morning. My headphones aren't right. The
Everything's a
adverts
bit
weren't
out of whack.
working. Yeah, I feel like I'm disconnected from my people.
I've got an email that will connect you back to your people.
Good.
From a lady called Marie who saw you on Graham Norton, and you were talking about your swimming endeavours, and that
yes.
she felt that everything you were saying was the same thing that she'd thought over all these years about her own swimming. She's a non-swimmer, and that you were very inspiring to non-swimmers.
Oh, well, that
is
I
nice.
hope I don't let them down, because I'll tell you something. There's a secret society of non-swimmers. I did the Graham Norton show, and I said the thing is that for Sport Relief, after all these people do all these massive, swim the channel and all that stuff, I'm going to swim a length. Actually, it's going to be. If it looks like it's going to be an Olympic pool, and in fact, it'll actually be a width. Is I'm going to swim, because that is a normal length.
And even
25
that-
metres.
Even that is amazing, isn't it? Because that sort of lets you know how big Olympic pools are.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
width is a normal length. Yeah.
There's 50 metres, aren't they?
The
Pools.
length of it's like
They're huge.
yes, but even 25 metres. Just me swimming, I'm frightened of water just getting in. So, but afterwards, when I told the story, the audience were laughing like it was some ironic thing I was going to do. And then after, in the green room, a woman came up to me and said, "Excuse me, but I'm frightened of water as well. I just want to wish you the best of luck." And it's like being part of a little, the secret handshake.
Oh, nice.
And we
Well, I
both got
heard
the shaky hands for it. So I am,
about
yes.
it on 5 Live, and I was rooting for you, even as I was driving. I
Well,
was thinking,
the
"Go
thing
on,
is,
go
it
on,
could
Frank."
well be one of the challenges, because they always seem to complete the challenges, don't they, on
Yeah.
Sport Relief? No one ever fails, and this could be the one. Honestly, because I I can't use the expression, but I'm quite frightened.
Do you know which pool you're going to be doing it in?
Well, it looks like it's going to be the Olympic pool.
In East London.
Oh, great.
I don't know where it is, I'll just get in a car and be taken there.
You should get one of those
swim there.
Olympic
I'm not swimming there.
Olympic ring tattoos from doing it.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
What, with the logo
You deserve
on?
it.
The
yeah.
really
Get it on
rubbish
your
logo
sort of,
of a massive
on your
one.
hip bone.
That would be great.
No, I'm hoping I get the rowboat.
Yeah.
You know, the accompanying rowboat with the megaphone and the hot sweet tea.
This is obviously something you haven't had to think about before, but are you going to go for the Speedo, the Bermuda? I mean, which kind of swimming trunks are you going for with this? Or are you just going to go for sort of a
funnily
full
enough,
costume?
I asked one of the people from Sport Relief if there was a sort of something that involved a kind of if there was a Speedo all-in-one. I want to wear a teddy, is what I want to wear. Because I don't, my torso is, it's just going to upset.
So like a sort of Victorian gentleman with sort of
Would be nice.
stripy...
That would be nice.
Well, I don't want it to be comedy, though. Do you know what I mean? I could drown. I don't want to drown in a comedy outfit. I don't want to be like Yogi Bear
Surely you just don't.
Not that Yogi Bear drowned. I meant dressed as Yogi Bear. Sorry.
Surely you just don't want to drown.
Mainly, I don't want to drown.
Clothing becomes secondary as a concern.
So have you got armbands at the moment? Is that patronising to ask?
No, apparently they're not keen on that. I've actually had air-filled implants put into my biceps, so that I haven't had my first lesson yet. I don't have my first lesson for another week. Oh. So I don't know how they're going to do it with me, but
Maybe
I am.
It's like riding a bike where you don't do stabilisers anymore. They don't do that.
Do they not?
The advice is not to do stabilisers.
Why?
I think it's easier to go from no stabilisers to riding a bike now.
Stabilisers would be a great idea, though, wouldn't they, for swimming? If I had like wheels that went to the bottom.
Really
but
long.
Apparently, it's something like 5 metres or something in the Olympic pool.
What, downwards?
I have never ever been out of my depth in a swimming pool in my life.
Really?
Because my only thing is I can float a bit, but I have to know it and put my feet down at any time.
Oh wow.
It doesn't bear thinking about. And Zach Braff, who was on Graham Norton with me, said, well, you could just take a really long time and they could keep cutting back to you. I thought, that's an interesting. Then someone could come in and move me along the pool. But I think I'm going to do it the way... ever seen people walk on hot coals when you do it as fast as you can to get it over with? Yeah. So I want to really build up a speed in case I just lose my nerve. But anyway, that's what I'm going to do, and I am genuinely frightened.
Oh, well, best of luck.
Yeah,
That's
congratulations for giving it a go.
Oh, well, I just read a thing about... you see those things in the paper about people complain about things from holidays, and they have a list of genuine complaints. Mm-hmm. And one of them was from parents who said, we were never told that there would be fish in the sea. Our children were genuinely startled. So... I've got all that to look forward to, that little voyage of discovery.
Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner.
So, I was reading an interview with Simon Cowell.
Are we really going from the Fall to Simon Cowell?
I think that...
in one easy stride.
Now, you can't say that, you see, because we're not playing the Fall on all the other channels we're on.
Oh, okay.
No, I think he was talking about a sort of bigger picture, like the fall of man to Simon Cowell. I think he's been quite philosophical
now you've taken it even longer. We're still off air now on Absolute 80s. So Simon Cowell is planning, so he says, this could be the winner of Britain's Got Talent, which I think does it start this week?
I think it might, yeah.
I hope it starts soon, because I need a haircut and I can't possibly go to the hairdressers if there isn't a major reality TV show on. So I won't have anything to talk about in the chair.
Is that what you talk about?
At all.
I would have thought you would spend your time... when it came to small talk topics, I would have thought football would have been your natural ground.
No, but they're all young sort of Australian women at the hairdressers.
You should go to a different hairdresser then.
No, but this is £9. You can't turn your back on that.
I think if you looked at a certain website, you could get it for £5.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, but I don't want it to be topped off with a
man in a king of jewellery.
I will not have my hair cut by a man who wears a hat.
Maybe that's why he's got it, because he got his hair cut for a £5.
So anyway, he's saying that the winner, he's been in talks with Richard Branson, and the winner of Britain's Got Talent, he will sing in space.
Ah, yeah, I saw that.
And he puts it in a very strange way. He said, imagine Susan Boyle singing Unchained Melody in front of the whole planet. What does that mean, in front of the whole planet? Does he think that if you're in space, you're like the man in the moon? Everyone can see you.
Yeah.
But still, she could do it in front of the whole planet, just from a room somewhere.
Yeah.
And what is the front of the planet?
Well, yeah.
Like, she could actually be doing it to one side of the whole planet.
Oh,
and also,
my head's going mad now.
He's also forgot that she didn't win it.
Oh.
She was second, so she wouldn't have even been there unless she stowed away like in Alien.
Who won it?
Who won it that year? Was the Diversity won it?
Oh, did they? I don't know.
Yeah, so
but also, people don't go into a talent competition to sing in space. Like that's no one's dream has ever been, I want to become an amazing singer so that I get to sing in space. It's not a prize people are interested in.
Well, you
give them a £1 million record deal.
Well, then what they usually get is they get to sing at the Royal Variety Performance, which is such a perfect reward for an odd sort of show that features people from the periphery of society.
Yeah.
Because there's something very bizarre about the fact the Royal Variety Performance still exists.
Have you done it?
I did it. I died most dreadfully on it, I must say.
Did you?
Oh, God, yeah, it went so badly. I remember there was a woman in the front row wearing a sweatshirt with a big tiger face on it.
You know that was the Queen.
Was it? See, I don't like the way they've gone cash. I don't
Royal
like that.
cash.
I like a bit of distance from the royal. No, I had a terrible experience there. And they always say this thing now on Britain's Got Talent. They say this thing that, if someone goes on and they're like a stage belcher or something, so they belch some tunes, and then they'll say, do you really think the royal family want to see this? That's become their rule of thumb for what's morally acceptable. I've often thought I'd like to go on Britain's Got Talent and slaughter an enormous stag as my act. And then when he said, do you think the royal family actually they do like this kind of stuff.
I love this.
Yeah, and then they'd be exposed to the
I read that thing that he's going to send the winner into space, but they also showed a photo of one of the people that had auditioned in the Salford Lowry in Manchester, and it was a guy dressed as a Roman centurion. And I thought, of all people to catapult into space, he is perhaps least equipped, because he's behind even us. I mean, I'm not ready for a trip to space, but this guy's a Roman centurion in his own head.
I wonder what the act is.
Yeah,
that involves being dressed as a Roman.
Maybe he kills a stag. I don't know.
Did they have stags out there?
No, but they were probably better with a sword than we are.
I hope there's a lion involved.
I'm pretty good with a sword, but anyway, yeah.
Are you?
Yeah. My granny had a sword, and I used to play with it. True story.
Your granny had a sword?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we'll come back to this one. If you want to text us about anything at 8 12 15, if it's is your granny still alive?
No.
So you have no backup on this. This could be completely made up. But anyway.
Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner.
What was we talking about? Simon Cowell.
Simon Cowell. The other thing I liked in the article I read was that it said that he's just got back off his New Year holiday. He's only just announced this after his New Year holiday. I was thinking, on the 20th of January or 19th or whatever it was. And then I thought, oh, well, he probably has to take all that time off, because that's probably how long it takes him to change his money back to British, innit? Like to English money.
Well, I don't think he brings it all. You don't have to change your entire...
Because I've just brought back about $50 from Bermuda, but he's probably got to change like £3.5 million back into money, hasn't he? Have I misunderstood this? That's probably why he's taken so long to start piping up.
One thing he said was that Richard Branson, it's going to cost something... He said something, it's going to cost millions to do this thing in outer space.
Mm-hmm.
But you can get a ticket on that spaceship, and it's not millions. It's about 30 grand.
When does that all kick off?
I don't know. They said this year, probably. So couldn't you just go on it? You could put your winner on it, then they could get up and do their act.
Yeah, but then it would cost a lot to put the cameras in and stuff like that.
Yeah, but not that much.
Yeah, he's just building it up. He also said, this can't be compulsory, but it will happen. Well, what does that mean? It can't be compulsory, but it will happen. I think Simon Cowell might have... I think it's finally happened.
Well, he's gone a bit...
I think he's gone.
He has worn his trousers very high for a long time.
Well, I don't know if he does that anymore. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's in great shape, physically.
Is he?
I think he's rotting from the core, like he's being microwaved by immorality. And I don't know about you, but I hate it when that happens. He's poached Alicia Dixon. I don't mean in an elaborate...
Cooking.
Yeah, that'd be...
Heston
imagine if that came out.
Did he spin the water first, like they do on...
Yeah, and he said, I did it. He said, mainly to just to stop Strictly Come Dancing.
Yeah.
Did he say that?
Yeah.
70-30.
I would be so annoyed if I was Alicia Dixon, because then you just realise you're nothing but a pawn in a power game.
In a rich man's game.
But that's what we got you in this morning.
I'm nothing but a pawn.
For CBeebies.
Frank Skinner. Absolute Radio.
We've got a few people text in with advice for you on your verrucas, Frank.
This is what people want on commercial radio, is verruca cures. I've always said that. You go down for a band.
After trying all the different verruca remedies on my daughter's foot, resulting in really sore skin and still no success, I decided to look for a herbal remedy, although I am a cynic. That caveat makes us trust you slightly more.
Did he go to the local
Helen.
witch coven?
It's a she, it's Helen.
Okay.
However, one remedy was to cut a square of banana skin, which I imagine is quite a hard thing to do. Place
What? I could do that in a trice.
Really? Oh, okay.
You could probably hole punch a banana skin, I reckon.
That would work, yeah. Place it inside down on the verruca and cover it with a plaster. We did this every night for a week and the verruca had gone. Something to do with the chemical makeup of the banana skin, maybe. I like that.
I think that's a possibility.
Perhaps
under
we
the
should give it a
circumstances.
try. I like an email that ends with 2 questions.
I like the comedy element of it involving a banana skin under a foot.
Yeah, doesn't it? It sounds hazardous straight away, but if you fix it firmly with a plaster, I
Oh,
think
well,
it should
that's,
be.
can I say that we don't, Absolute Radio don't sanction any of these experimental cures for verrucas? If you do it and your foot turns into a banana, don't come crying to me.
Well, another bloke
Banana
has,
foot.
has
Already
emailed
got the
in.
nickname, it hasn't happened yet. Sorry.
Another man has emailed in. My chemist had no tape to wrap my daughter's verruca. The DIY man next door suggested gaffer tape. The verruca didn't see the light of day. Worked a treat.
What I like about this is that I imagine there's 2 shops next to each other. One is a chemist, the other one is a DIY shop. And if anyone comes out looking baffled, the guy just leans out his shop and offers an alternative. You tried
gaffer tape, mate.
you tried Yoo-hoo.
Have you tried raw plug in the verruca?
Just drill it out, mate. Drill it out.
That's the thing to do, isn't it? I reckon you could drill it out.
In it just.
So what are you going to do about it?
Well, hopefully I'm going to cause a major outbreak at the Olympics.
Oh no.
Are you just going to... Oh, yeah, because you're going to the Olympic pool.
Yeah, so I'll
you
just
could really
leave,
spread
I'll
that.
leave Verruca Spores in the Verruca Spores, another great band. Second album lost its way a bit, but so then I'm going to. So these will come in handy post Olympics.
You're going to have to wear a rubber sock on the telly.
Well, apparently I spoke about this. Shut your face. I spoke about this, and apparently it's been poo-pooed. The whole theory that you can catch verrucas from damp surfaces and stuff is no longer accepted by the medical community.
I don't think in medical terms poo-pooing.
Well,
I think it's called discounting
that's
medically.
what it said in the Lancet.
Oh, they are quite
So,
kind.
but they've dumbed down.
Verruca-
They've really
verruca
dumbed
poo-poo.
down, I think, the Lancet, I have to say.
Absolute Radio. Frank Skinner.
On the subject of banana skins sticking to your foot, we've had an email. I don't know if you remember we
fabulous
talked about...
opening.
Do you remember we talked about the banana guard a long time ago?
You know, the banana there is a theory, I believe this is where it comes from, that the banana is a sly and insidious fruit. Is that if you put a banana in a fruit bowl, it generates a gas that causes the other fruit to rot quicker than they normally would.
Although it's handy if you've got fruit that you want to be ripened quicker, pop it in a brown bag with a banana.
That's it. And
Also, if you peel it and you put it in a fruit salad, you've got to do that last, otherwise it goes black and sludgy.
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's another
It's-
point against it.
I think we can safely say the banana is not a team player.
No. It's very good for solo sports such as tennis. I love bananas. Anyway, we had an email in
That's the
from some-
trailer.
Dear Frank and
I love
Ed,
bananas.
I love the show, and I thought I would share... Oh, it's got a bit Steve right in the afternoon. I thought I would share with you a recent Christmas present anecdote of mine. Can you imagine my delight upon receiving a banana protector, he's calling it, for Christmas.
Is he a cricketer?
In my excitement, I rushed to the fruit bowl to retrieve the finest specimen I could find. I think he means banana. Put it in the case to try it out. However, upon opening another present of Christmas socks, I soon overlooked the banana protector, casting it aside.
How
This
easily
morning-
done that is.
Oh yeah. This morning I found it again after nearly a month, and well, I don't have to describe what I found. It had not fulfilled its purpose of preserving the banana. I don't think it was ever
It was
meant.
a
Oh, you
protector.
see, I think it's a separator rather than a preserver.
I think it's a banana guard for in your rucksack so that it doesn't get squashed
Squashed
by
to the
folders.
bottom.
Oh, I thought it was a guard for the other fruit to stop its vapour
Oh,
corrupting
we're
them.
all so confused.
No,
Oh,
no, I
wow.
think you're right. I think it is to put in you put it in the sort of plastic case. It's sort of like a laptop carrier bag or whatever, you know, like it's
Yeah.
the thing that stops it getting bashed up and dented, because everybody knows bananas are easily bruised.
Yeah, but are they any more easily bruised than a peach, say? Where's the peach guard?
That's exactly my point. It's ridiculous. In fact, they're more protected than a peach because they've got their own skin. Nature has provided a
I think
skin
there
for
probably is a
them.
peach guard. I think you could get one of those soap boxes.
There's a Scotch guard.
There
I
is
think
definitely.
that's for
The
Scotch
Scotch
eggs.
eggs.
Yeah, that you spray them with it before you travel. No, Scotch guard is a spray, isn't
Is
it?
it?
It's a
Oh,
sellotape.
is it? I thought.
No, it's a spray.
Oh yeah, Scotch tape is a tape.
Yeah.
Scotch guard is what you spray. If you're allergic to cats, you spray them, and it keeps their dander.
What,
in
the
place.
cat or the cat or the
You
hairs?
spray the cat.
Anyway, I had a friend who had a similar problem that he put a humane mouse trap under the sink and then came back.
There's a banana in it.
He came back a month later and had forgotten about it. It's less than humane. Less than humane then. Let's just
no.
say.
It had
But-
been in so long it had written a note.
Yeah. On the bright side, Tom got Christmas socks. I love getting socks for Christmas. It genuinely cheers.
Not if they were Christmas socks.
Oh,
not
no,
if
not
they had like
Christmas.
Homer Simpson on them.
No.
Ho, ho,
In
ho,
it.
ho.
Yeah,
Christmas.
anyway, look, this time is running out, I think, for all of us. If you want to download Not the Weekend podcast, that's available from Wednesday. Vicky Blight is next. I look forward to your emails about banana guards, which I'm sure will come in. Banana guards, that's what I'm using if I ever stage a military coup in this country.
That should be your safety word. We were talking about it
You can
earlier.
use your banana guards and then you establish
That's
a
what,
banana
if you get that
republic.
phone call,
I'll remember
you're
that.
dumped.
Okay, so look, if the good Lord's willing and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again next week. Thank you to Holly and to Alan, and thank you all for listening.
Absolute Radio with Frank Skinner.